Passing of our icon mother, Mama Winnie Mandela. We mark this event because of the contribution she has made and the impact she made as an activist, as a mother, as a leader, as a wife, and also as an outstanding social being that impacted on many lives. So it befits that we come here today and acknowledge her contribution and the impact she has had in society. She certainly is one of the people that have raised the bar when it comes to our struggle in terms of the direction and the momentum of our struggle. We're supposed to have started at 6:30, but due to unforeseen delays, we started a bit late, so we want to apologize for that. Having said that, maybe I should ask our Deputy Chair Province, Comrade Banyaza, to come forward and welcome everybody and make our comments on the events here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Program Director. I truly appreciate that. Barnabas, I think it will be much, much better that we all rise. Just observe a moment of silence so that we can just officially start with our program and just observe that moment of silence. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. Let me acknowledge the leadership that is here from the African National Congress, represented here by our TG, Ndate Paul Mashatile. Thanks, Comrade TG. I know you were in Mpumalanga yesterday representing the organization, so we truly appreciate that. The leadership that is here from all structures of the African National Congress, those that are representing us in Parliament as well, and those that are coming from the youth structures, and those that are representing the family, and all other members of the African National Congress and our alliance partners. We truly appreciate your presence here. We are just here to do one thing and one thing only, that Mama Winnie Mandela will never forget you. That collectively we are here to observe this important day because it was a very, very painful day for all of us. It was a day that we never thought it will arrive, and when it arrived, we were left shattered, all of us. So we want to thank the African National Congress leadership for setting aside this day so that we can observe that we once had a person of Mama Winnie Mandela's caliber, a person that represented all of us, a person that represented what is leadership. Where care was needed, she provided care. Where love was needed, she provided love. Where pain was exercised, she demonstrated on how to take pain. But where happiness was the order of the day, she shared that happiness with us. So for us to be here is just to say, Mama Winnie, as we said, and we continue to say, that you didn't die, you multiplied. We are here to demonstrate that aspect, that we will not forget you. We have multiplied. There are so many Winnies around our country. We are fighting either GBV, we are fighting poverty, we are fighting many other things that are still confronting society. And we are proud that we have indeed multiplied. So we want to thank the African National Congress for setting aside this day. If we can't do that to Mama Winnie, we'll never do it to any other person. And we're not just doing this to Mama Winnie, but it's a symbol of what we are doing to many other families that we are going to observe important days. In a few days' time, we'll be observing Solomon Mahlangu Day on the 6th of April. It's a demonstration that we don't forget those that path or that made the way for us to be the way we wanted it to be so that we can be here. So my task is very simple, comrades, is to invite our Treasurer General, Ndate Paul Mashatile, to come and address us, and also to start by laying the wreath, and immediately after that, we'll be in a position to allow you to address us. So can I invite the entire leadership that is here? You will guide me. Okay. I'm told that we will take the wreath first, and then Nompendulo, because we are here, I'm now been turned to a program director now. Because we are here in Tanasekaya, that you will also say some few words, and then we'll allow our TG then to start. But let's start by those that are responsible for the wreath. We'll allocate them to the leadership that is here. We start with our TG. TG, if you can come here. I'm told I must join you, TG.
TG, have you laid both graves?
TG must come to Comrade.
Yes.
Yes.
Without wasting time, Zocela Nompendulo to come and speak on behalf of Women's League.
Igama lamakhosikazi libongwe, igama lamakhosikazi libongwe, 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 igama lamakhosikazi libongwe, igama lamakhosikazi malibongwe, 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 libongwe, libongwe. Amandla awethu. Long live the undying spirit of Winnie Mandela. Long live. Thank you very much, comrades. Thank you very much, Comrade Banyaza, to the leadership of the African National Congress that is here in its entirety. I greet you, Comrade Korano, leadership of the Youth League. We acknowledge your presence. To the family of Winnie Mandela, we also acknowledge your presence. And most importantly, the presence of the Treasurer General of the African National Congress. We greet you, Comrade Paul. I'm not going to be long. I know I am tall, but I'll try and be short. It is an honor to speak as a young woman who's a member of the African National Congress Women's League, an activist of the Young Women's Desk. Comrade Paul, when I was bloused as, we call it honorary blousing, where young women from the ends and breadths of this country were given an opportunity to be bloused in honor of Winnie. Comrade Kholane, I think you were there. We made the blouse look as beautiful, as cool, as vibrant as Umam Winnie. That moment was a turning point for the Women's League, where many young women said, actually, we want to be part of the Women's League. The Women's League is a women's league for all women of all ages. Axi retirement home for Mama. It is as vibrant as Umam Winnie was till her death. And so we remember this moment as young women of the ANC as a moment where our presence as young women was affirmed in the Women's League in honor of Umam Winnie. We have continued, I think, with her legacy as young women in the Women's League. We've revived the Women's League. We've been committed to addressing the social collisions and ills of this country, committed to ensuring that young women have access to higher education, that they succeed in the space, that we address the ongoing challenges that they are faced with within this space, the microaggressions and inequities that exist within higher education, and beyond that space as well. We've been committed to ensuring that we redress the outlook of spaces of leadership in our country. When we say that Umam Winnie multiplied, we say that, and there's testament to that, is the existence of young women in parliament, young women in provincial legislature, young women in councils of our city, where there are mayors, there are MMCs, there are MECs, there are MPLs. Some of us at our tender age of 29 chair the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Science and Innovation, and it's an honor. It's something we don't take for granted. It's something we don't feel entitled to. It is something that we believe it's the strides of Umam Winnie that have allowed us the opportunity to be in this space. And as we sit in these spaces as young women of the ANC and the Women's League in honor of Umam Winnie, we must not be comfortable with the fact that we have not reached the gender equity that we want to see. We will not be okay with 30%, 45%, even 49% representation of women. We believe that the representation of women in spaces must be representative of their existence in the country at large and their numbers in the country. So, Comrade Kholane, as we go into the conferences of the ANC, as the ANC Young Women's Desk, Women's League Young Women's Desk, as the ANC Women's League, we must be intentional and committed to ensuring that those structures that we will elect, RECs, PECs, BECs, NEC, must have the type of representation of women in those particular spaces. And we must be unapologetic about it. And we must be united in attempting, regardless of our various differences and backgrounds, we must as women and our allies, we acknowledge, Comrade Paul, that the likes of yourselves may be motive forces to our agenda as young women, and we appreciate, in fact, we want to charge yourselves as men in this organization to commit yourselves to ensuring that we see the type of gender equity and parity that we want to see. So, Comrade Kholane, even in this representation, it needs to trickle down, and this is what Mam Winnie would want, because she was so committed to ensuring that the lived realities of South Africans change. So our representation in these spaces of leadership and servitude should trickle down to the daily lived realities of those in society. Young women, ordinary young women in our communities need to feel as though they are represented by Comrade Kholane, by Comrade Nompendulo, by Comrade Fasia, by Comrade Precious Banda, in whichever spaces that they lead in. The NYDA is now led by women, with Comrade Karabo Mohale at the forefront. The NYTT of the Youth League is led by Comrade Noneba, led by a Comrade Joy. And that needs to trickle down into the lived realities of young women and everyone, in fact, that identifies within the various spectrums of our society. So what we want to say in honor of Umam Winnie today is that Mama, imsebenzi wakho was not in vain. We have picked up the baton as young women of the ANC Women's League, and I think we're very intentional, and I think we're making great strides. And all that will then be important for us going forward is that we are intentional and relentless and unapologetic about the fact that we need to have an inclusive and intersectional society in South Africa. No woman will be left behind in the development of our country. That is not what Mam Winnie would have wanted. Mam Winnie would have wanted for us to be at the forefront of it, for us to not hey man, singacingi basesifikile she would really want us to ensure that we make existential and fundamental change in our community. So having said that, comrades, members of the Mandela and Madikizela family that are here today, all we want to say is the spirit, the undying, relentless spirit of Mam Winnie lives on. And we are committed to ensuring that her legacy bears fruit into the development and the self-liberation of the South Africans of this country. And so I would then, at this point in time, want to hand over to the TG to also just remind us of the importance of us lifting the legacy of Mama Nomzamo Winnie Mandela. Thank you very much, comrades. We don't have a sanitizer.
No, we don't. Yeah, I think we need to acknowledge that we should have organized a sanitizer. There is no sanitizer. The regulations are still in force. TG?
Thank you very much, Program Director. Greetings to the Deputy Chairperson of the ANC in our province, Comrade Panyaza, the biggest principal in our province. Greetings, Comrade Nompendulo, on behalf of the ANC Women's League, and those who are accompanying you, those who are accompanying Comrade Panyaza, Comrade Kwerano. You are Sasko, ne? Oh, provincial leader of the Youth League. Viva the ANC Youth League, viva. Zoetola kanjani. I'm sure there are other young people here from the Youth League who are with Comrade Kwerano as well. Let me also greet those who are representing the Mandela Madikizela family who are already here with us. Program Director, I stand here before you this morning on behalf of the African National Congress, National Executive Committee, to pay respect to a life well lived, to honor our mother, Comrade Winnie Mandela Mandela, a woman who spent her entire life in the fight for a struggle for a better life for our people. Comrade Winnie, as we know, was involved in the struggle for many, many years. She fought battles as part of the women's struggles, as part of the ANC struggles underground, and she suffered for that. She was tortured, she was jailed, she was banned. And in those early years, we know that she had, as a mother, to bring her children up, to make sure that she takes care of them whilst President Mandela was spending a life sentence in Robben Island. But with all those challenges, the challenges that come with being a parent, a single parent, she was able to be at the forefront of the struggle to fight the apartheid system. We are here today to not only remember her, not only to remember the good work that she did for our movement, but to say to everyone else in our country and the world that we as the African National Congress will continue on her footsteps. We'll continue on the footsteps of those great leaders, great women like Lilian Ngoyi, Mama Sisulu, Gertrude Shop, and many others who came before us, who fought battles against the apartheid regime. We walk on their footsteps today. Comrades, as we honor Umam Winnie this morning, let us also remember that the African National Congress has declared this year the year of unity and renewal. This is the year we dedicated ourselves to renew our organization, to make sure that our branches are strong, to make sure that our branches work with communities. Yesterday, when I was in Mpumalanga, because they are having their conference, we emphasized the fact that members of the ANC must live amongst our communities. They must work with communities, address the challenges that our communities are facing. So to us, organizational renewal is not just about ourselves as the ANC, but it's about the people. It's about the lives of our communities. It's about ensuring that the challenges that our communities are facing are being addressed by our members, and they must continue to live amongst our people. So this is a year of renewal. There will be many conferences. It's not only in Mpumalanga, there are regional conferences everywhere throughout the country. We will have another regional conference this month in the Eastern Cape. Provincial conference in the Eastern Cape. And there will be other provincial conferences that will follow. The Northwest, Gauteng in June, and KZN in July. Free State as well is coming. The Western Cape, I'm sure all of them before July. But comrades, this conference must be seen in the context of renewal, in the context of an ANC that wants to be better once again, an ANC that is not going to elect people who are interested to pursue their own personal agendas. But we want men and women who are dedicated to serving our people. And this is what these conferences are all about. We are ably led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is at the forefront of ensuring that there is economic recovery in our country. As we prepare for these conferences, let us make sure that we address the challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality in our country. Let's continue to address the challenges that our mothers are facing, young women, and ensure gender equality. We remember, Comrade Nompendulo, the battles that you fought with your peers at Wits University and other institutions of higher learning to ensure that there is free education in our country. I'm very proud that you as young women, yourself, Kwerano and others, remain at the forefront of fighting these struggles. Let us not tire. The road ahead of us is long. There are still many challenges out there. But I have no doubt that young women and men who have been active in our institutions of higher learning will continue to do so in structures of the Youth League, the ANC, the Women's League, and many other progressive organizations that are fighting for a better life for our people. We remember Comrade Nomzamo Winnie Mandela today as a woman who have really left us with a proud legacy. Whatever we do today, we follow the legacy of, amongst others, Comrade Winnie Mandela. We are here this morning to honor her, we respect her, and we remember the proud work that she did while she was with us. We are poorer without her today, but we have learned well from her. And we can assure you, Mama, that what you taught us is something that will always remain in our hearts, and we will remain committed to the struggles of our people. I remember Mama very fondly because, Mama would always call us her children, all of us. You didn't have to be a biological child. And I know every time I went to Orlando, she would say, "How are you, my son?" And I'm sure all of you have experienced it. "How are you, my daughter? How are you, my son?" There's only one time, Panyaza, where Mama called me my name because there was a bit of a mess at one of our conferences, and she called me and said, "Paul, what nonsense is this?" We had to sort out some problems I think it was then the PWV region. But Mama was always there. When we fought battles in Alex, she will come over. When there were boycotts and demonstrations, I remember at the airport once, and the police were coming with dogs, Mama was there with us. There was nowhere where we would fight struggles and battles and Mama would not be there. Very brave woman. And I think the apartheid regime knew that. That with Mama there was no turning back. No snow chechela morao. When Mama is there and we're fighting battles, as a jig, we go forward. And we are proud, Mama, that you left us with that legacy. Your organization, the African National Congress, is still alive. There are many who wish it to die. They believe that there will be an obituary this year in December to bid farewell to the ANC. It's not going to happen. The ANC remains alive. We will renew it, we'll make it strong, and we'll make sure that it continue to inspire our people for change. Continue to inspire our people that tomorrow will be better than yesterday. That's the African National Congress that we will build, and that's the African National Congress that will continue to lead our people. We thank Mama for having shown the way, and we will always remember her. We'll always walk on her footsteps. We will carry with us this proud legacy to make sure that indeed our people do get a better life led by the African National Congress. Long live the spirit of Mama Winnie Mandela. Long live.
Long live.
Phela kunaphakati Mama Winnie Mandela. Phela kunaphakati. Umoya wakhe mawulale ngoxolo. Mama lies here with her daughter and granddaughter. Most of you will know that Comrade Zinzi herself was an activist. I had an honor to work with her when she was one of the leaders of the Soweto Youth Congress, when I was in the Alexander Youth Congress. And really that's because of Mama. Brought in children who also were involved in struggle and continue to fight our people. Thank you very much, members of the media, for coming this morning to this occasion where we honor our mother, our grandmother, the icon of our struggle. This is something that we'll continue to do every year, lest we forget. Lest we forget the great work that these veterans of our struggle have done for us. Let us continue to honor them. Matla.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I think today we're celebrating a legacy. We're celebrating a life worth celebrating. We're celebrating a great memory, something that should guide us on our daily commitment in terms of how to take this country forward. The likes of Winnie Mandela are almost like a signpost to most of our people to say that if we're going to get things right in this country, they prescribe what is it that needs to be done. And it's something that we should carry with us. It must not only happen on this day. And we hope that many South Africans out there are celebrating this day in remembrance of Mama Winnie Mandela. Because our program was meant to be short, at the center of it was a wreath laying. We are going to ask Ubaba Osasabonala to come and do a vote of thanks to those who made it to this occasion. Sondela Baba.
Amandla awethu matla Kiaruna Matimba Yaina Manda Washu Viva ANC Viva. Long live the African National Congress, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Mama Winnie Mandela, long live. Long live the resilient undying spirit of Nomzamo, long live. Thanks very much, comrades. Thanks very much for this opportunity on behalf of the African National Congress in this region of Winnie Mandela, the region of Johannesburg, for this opportunity for one to, appreciate everyone who is here in honor of Mama Winnie, a product of the struggles of the people of South Africa. In her own way, she also sees herself as the product of her enemy, which is the apartheid government, because it is her enemy that have unleashed her resilient, against apartheid and resistance against apartheid. A very strong leader who have held the struggles of the people, even when there were those that were out of the country. You could still feel the presence of the African National Congress during those dark days. So let me take this opportunity, comrades, firstly to thank the family of Mama Winnie to have joined the African National Congress this morning. Let me also appreciate the presence of the Treasurer General, Comrade Paul Mashatile, for the keynote address in honor of Mama Winnie. Let me also appreciate the Deputy Chair of the ANC in the province, Comrade Panyaza. Let me also appreciate the representative of the ANC Women's League, who is the leader of the ANC Women's League Young Women's Desk, Comrade Nompendulo. Let me also appreciate the presence of Comrade Khwerano, a member of the provincial tax team of the ANC Youth League in Gauteng, but also to appreciate all other comrades that have availed themselves today for us to give this honor to this great woman of the struggle, the mother of our nation, the woman that will never die for as long as all of us are still alive, because her ideas, her resilient and resistant to the apartheid struggle is still a motivational factor to many of us to wake up and fight to ensure that the African National Congress, it's a primary objective of the National Democratic Revolution that seeks to achieve the National Democratic Society, utilizing the Freedom Charter as the program of action, always remains on course. And thanks very much, Comrade Keith, for this opportunity.
I think Comrade Sasabona summed it up. I think we have come to the end of the event today. As we depart, let's take the memory with and let's spread the message. Thank you.
What I have, you can take it out. Comrades and grab. Take it out of the bag. Let's lay a wreath, Koza. Musa, I'm going to lay a wreath. Take a picture. I'm going to lay a wreath. Isa?